Nearly half of all cases playing out in Texas civil courts are family law cases, and the ones dealing with child custody can be some of the most complex. But what happens when these disputes cross international borders? KXAN investigators have learned hundreds of children are taken to a foreign country by one of their parents every year, often leaving behind a parent right here in Texas.
A group of U.S. senators is pressing the Department of Justice on why many of these children never return. KXAN's Avery Travis explains even when a parent is given custody in the U.S., an international treaty could change everything.
Of course, I missed out on the first few years of his life.
Andrew Mura is the first to admit he wasn't always there to be a good dad to his son.
I just want to feel whole again.
But after a few years, he decided he wanted to get involved. Mura began what the court system calls reunification therapy to gradually establish a relationship with the little boy.
And I would just sit and try to figure out what he was interested in. You know, he loved trucks, so we'd always try to get him things with trucks and so forth.
Court records show when he arrived at a Travis County family court hearing in December 2019, the boy and his biological mother didn't show up. So the judge granted Mura sole custody and only scheduled visits between the boy and his mom. But none of that happened. The record shows she'd already left for Mexico with her son.
This is absolutely the parent's worst nightmare.
In a 2019 email to KXAN, the boy's mother wrote she was terrified to lose custody of her son and worried he was suffering emotional trauma from the ongoing case.
These are sticky, ugly, nasty cases.
The International Center for Missing and Exploited Children says these cases are very different from other kinds of trafficking or kidnapping cases.
It's not just removing the kid, but it's cutting off that left-behind parent from having anything to do with the child.
While there are state and federal laws preventing parents from violating custody orders or leaving the country with a child, there's also what's called the Hague Convention. It's an international treaty between certain countries to help bring children home or resolve these kinds of cases civilly, in both senses of the word.
There are courts in the foreign country that say, okay, we're going to have a hearing and we're going to determine whether there's been a violation of Hague or whether it's in the best interest of the child to return or whether the child should stay here.
The latest federal report shows in 2020, the State Department was investigating more than 600 cases of children taken across international borders by parents, with California and Texas topping the list. About a third of those cases were newly opened that year, and 83 of those latest cases were to Mexico.
It's one of the most common countries for kids to be taken to.
So literally, we are going through the mountains.
Mura filed his case under the Hague Convention, but when he couldn't get assistance...
Coming right behind us is the police municipal.
He traveled to Mexico, enlisting the help of a private investigator and Mexican law enforcement. But he was ultimately told by officials he had to hire attorneys in Mexico to work things out in the court system there. Attorneys with Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid say that's important because a custody order by a U.S. court isn't always the deciding factor in a Hague case, especially given the shift they've seen in these cases over the last decade.
They recognize that this obligation under the treaty should not be treated as let's return the child at all costs, and that the return always has to be like what's best for the child.
So, a judge in the receiving country decides first if the Hague Convention was violated, and then whether they should return the child. Since we started investigating, Mura's been told his Hague application is under review.
And we don't have anywhere else to turn. So I'm hoping that somebody will say, man, I want to take interest in this.
The mother in this case told us she's all the little boy has ever known. Because of the history of their case, she's putting her trust in the Mexican government to protect her. But she did decline an on-camera interview with us, telling us she is waiting for the case to play out in Mexican court.
Avery, you mentioned the shift in how cases are handled over the last decade. KXAN investigators profiled an international custody case in 2013. What has changed?
In that particular case, a Williamson County DA investigator actually found grounds to file kidnapping charges against the taking parent and then reunited the children with the parent here in Texas. But we discovered that is not a route that's usually taken. Data we obtained from the DOJ going back a decade shows less than 20 cases are prosecuted federally each year, which is why several lawmakers, including Texas Senator John Cornyn, have started pushing for more awareness, sending letters to the DOJ, and this April actually establishing what's called International Parental Child Abduction Awareness Month.
Wow, Avery, thank you so much. Check out this investigation online for more resources for parents and information on the Hague Convention, plus interactive features showing which countries have the most U.S. children taken during abduction cases. It's all in the investigative section of KXAN.com right now.